Hello, I'm the Hardcore Kid. Hardcore enough to review crap from Cartoon Network. You know, when I was a little kid, I didn't have Cartoon Network. I would always tune in to Channel 32 and all I got was a static screen. Then a few months later, all of a sudden, it appears. The next thing I know, I'm watching a buttload of cartoons like Scooby-Doo, Ed, and Eddy, Dexter's Laboratory, and yeah, I had weird tastes back then. But for every cartoon, there's always a cartoon movie. Some of which are good, and some of which are crap. There are a few gems like Dexter's Laboratory Ego Trip and Foster's Destination Imagination. But then you have the stinkers like Ben 10 Alien Swarm, which was boring, and Reanimated, which made me want to kill myself. Jesus! But you could honestly not believe how pissed off I was when I found out that they were canceling Ed, and Eddy. The longest running series on Cartoon Network was finally getting the boot, and going out with a bang. A big bang. A 90-minute long big picture show bang. That's right, Danny Antonucci was ending his award-winning series with a movie. Ed, and Eddy's Big Picture Show. But the big question is, will this be the series finale that every Ed fan has dreamed of? Or will it turn into another Sopranos Made in America flub? Only one way to find out. Cue the theme music! The movie starts off with what's quite possibly the greatest opening sequence in history. Wow. Yep. Nothing but silence. So apparently the Eds made another scheme that went horribly wrong and cost thousands of dollars in damage. Now the Eds are running scared, trying to get as far away from the other cul-de-sac kids as humanly possible. They decide to hide in Eddy's brother's room, thinking that with all its protection, should shield the Eds away from the angry kids. Yes, and maybe vampire sparkle!
We are not long on this world! The window! What's my brother? These stupid bricks! Let me through! End of the light, dorks!
So the Eds try to escape in Eddy's brother's car, but, like in every other movie cliche, the car won't start.
Road sections will be slow and painful, like Papa's child when I didn't know, Ted Boy! I am Ed! She's a macaroni!
This results in a pretty epic chase scene, which goes through backyards, alleys, garbage dumps, and construction sites.
He's a maniac, I tell you! How do you like your faces? Fried or scrambled?
I like my lunch steamed!
Dorks ain't seen the last!
Book! So Ed, and Eddy are able to escape, but the kids aren't giving up without a fight.
We shed tears no more, fuss bucket Nazgirl! Rolf will unearth the head boys and squash them like the parasite that infests Wilfred's Tuchus! This is Rolf's word! Dog? They're gonna wish they never messed with
Naz van Bartenschmeer!
Naz von Bartenschmeer? My Führer! I always knew Naz was German. Meanwhile, the Eds have now lost the kids, but Ed ends up crashing into a boulder, leaving them completely stranded.
I followed all the rules, lived a life of decency and principle, so why didn't I trust my instincts? That one day these short-sighted sophomoric show games would go too far!
Double D's dark side makes my armpits sweat, Eddie.
Lighten up, sockhead! Hasn't Eddie always steered you right?
I question your logic, Eddie. Especially considering the last time we saw the other kids, Johnny had a bear trap on his head, Naz was in the nude, Kevin was beaten to shit, and Rolf was missing about 45% of his girth. Seriously, dude, what were you doing to create such a massacre? I haven't seen a massacre this bad since the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A massacre, I tell you! But Eddie decides, fuck it. The only place left for them to go is to his big brother's house by the Mondo amusement park, and thus begins the movie's plot. The rest of the film is now basically a sort of road trip slash adventure slash chase type film, with Eddie's brother's house being the destination. Just think of it as Rat Race. Eddie-sized. Back at the cul-de-sac, the other kids are preparing for their hunt for the Eds. First up we have Johnny, who has a top secret laboratory, and he dresses up as Patchhead. Then we have Kevin and Naz riding on Kevin's bike in what has to be the movie's most memorable subplot, the love triangle between Kevin, Naz, and Kevin's bike. That's right, Kevin is choosing a pile of nuts and bolts on wheels over this little baby cake. Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. Kevin, the biggest egocentric hat-wearing douche in the entire history of Ed, and Eddy, has now become the animation equivalent of Christian Weston Chandler.
I love you, Ivy. Come here.
And speaking of disturbing imagery, that's where Rolf comes in. He's able to catch up with the wrecked remains of the car, but the Eds are long gone. So what does Rolf do? Well, Okay, why is that yellow? That's not what I think it is it?
Hey, Fred! You interrupt Rolf's study! Do you think this is party time for 1999? No!
No, it's a good thing I don't know what his nationality is, or else I'd be dropping nukes on his old country faster than you could say, son of a shepherd's meat pies.
My big bro would never let anything happen to me. And I'll tell you what, I'll put in a good word for you two.
Thank you, Eddie. Your brother certainly is a kind, upstanding, and generous human being.
He's got Momo's Double D!
Yes, well, what's our estimated time of arrival to your brother's sanctuary, Eddie?
Beats me. I don't know where he lives.
Pardon? Are you saying all this time you've been leading us to nowhere?
Nope. I'm taking you to my bro's house, smart guy. You just have to figure out where it is.
Yeah, I'm taking you to my brother's house. I don't know where he lives, but we're still going there. Ah, Eddie. A guy so inept that even God herself wonders how he gets through school. 2 times 3 equals 23. 6 times 9 equals... Meanwhile, back at the neighborhood, that bastard Jimmy and his bitch Sarah are flocking around until they wander into the trailer park. Only good things can come from this.
Looks like someone left something in their pocket.
What is it?
Looks like it's what's-his-face.
A little far from home, aren't you, Dutch?
Uh-oh, looks like Dutch needs a diaper! My hero!
Yeah, make them suffer for their bitchiness. What the hell was that? Gee. Move along. So Jimmy spills the beans about everything that happened, and so the Cankers decide to head out and try to rescue their boyfriends. Meanwhile, we cut back to Ed and Eddy going through a sunflower patch, with Ed and Eddy goofing off and Double D building some kind of weird-looking device. Oh boy. This is the part of the movie I'm sure everybody remembers. Why? Just watch.
Yes, well, it's all fun and games, but merrymaking nearly cost us this sextant.
You catch that, Ed? The what? I missed that. What's it called?
It's called a sextant.
Say it again, Double D!
Oh, my!
You are all weirdos! Ugh.
So after that, the Eds finally reach the gag factory where Eddy's brother go. Okay, seriously, you can't make a joke about a sextant and move right on to gag factory. That doesn't work in a kid's film. But we'll make an exception. Then we cut back to Rolf again, who has now followed the Ed boys' path towards the cow pasture. What follows is just as disgusting and disturbing as the last scene.
Hello?
The Nintendo shit cube!
Good freaking God, Rolf! If you're gonna continue to abuse your system like this, you're gonna die of malaria by the time this movie's over. Inside the gag factory, the Eds find a whole bunch of crazy contraptions, but otherwise, the whole building is deserted.
If looks could kill, I'd be dead.
So Ed and Eddy continue to act like a bunch of fool crazy smegheads until they force Double D to open up a jar of jelly beans.
Why, thank you, Ed. These should prove quite comforting, and I am a bit peckish.
Wait, Kevin, we can't stop here. This is rubber snake country.
Dorks.
So the Eds continue their trek over the rivers and through the woods to Big Brother's house they go! And after a few minutes we cut away again, this time to Sarah, Jimmy, and the Cankers.
Up, Jimmy! I'm not gonna make it, Sarah!
When you squawking and keep it moving!
Yeah, you heard her! We got boyfriends to say!
You might think this movie is jumping all over the place faster than you can say how. But no, that's just my fancy editing. But no, the thing about this movie is that after a few minutes, it always cuts to different characters and gives them a bit of screen time to develop. And that's actually what I like about this movie. The way how it gives these characters in the show limelight so that they're not always hovering around in the background like a bunch of idiots. Probably the most significant has to be the interaction with Kevin and Naz. Seriously, with a character like Naz, you'd expect there to be a dozen couplings with her. But here, Kevin is the lucky guy. Or at least that's what you would think. But all throughout, Kevin just seems to have this obsession with pounding the Ed boys. And when he's not thinking about it, he's thinking about saving his bike.
That's what I think of your stupid bike!
Oh, and some of you were also wondering whether or not we get to see Double D without his hat on. Well, there is a scene where Double D loses his hat, but guess what? They still censor it! Ah! But we do find out one thing, though. Lee Kanker has 3 eyes! This would all be perfect if only it had some Harvey Danger music playing in the background. But instead, we have to listen to the oh-so-subtle words of Poppy Popeye!
Children, kids, boy, everything they want. And what do you get in return? Nothing but heartache. Pour your heart out to them. You give them everything they want. Give them candy and a lot of toys. And what do you get back? You get a lot of noise. Bless their little hearts. If they were really made out of gold, I'd like to sell them on the open marketplace. I could make me a fortune. Kids, they don't know what they're doing.
So the Eds end up crash landing at the Mondo amusement park and finally find Big Brother's trailer. But little do the Eds know, all the other kids are coming up right behind them.
Your blades and shining armor have arrived!
Me? Lee? Marie? We got your back, cutie pie.
Tell you what, why don't you talk to my bro? He lives here, you know.
Huh?
No way!
Could this be true?
Yeah, I kinda doubt it, Eddie. Remember the last time you said your brother was coming home? When your brother actually turned out to be Sarah? I mean, I'm sure this whole movie is just a way to get all the characters in the show back together. I mean, after all, so far, every single character that has appeared in the show has been in this movie. Ed Single D, Ed Double D, Eddie, Kevin, Naz, Rolf, Jimmy, Johnny, Sarah, Lee, May, Marie, Critic, Nerd, Likara, Spoonie, Snob, Barsco, Lord, Cat, Lupa, Joey, Johnny, Marky, CJ, Sly, Arnold, Wills, Rob, Nerd, Smoke me a kipper, I'll be back for breakfast!
Park don't open till noon. I told you there was a double time! Pipsqueak? Bro! Look out! Mom and Dad know you're here? That's it! All for nothing, huh? Still the troublemaking Eddie, I see.
So yeah, we're finally introduced to the Big Eddie himself. Check this guy out. He's really hardcore. He's got the Brian Johnson hat, that crazy goatee, some hot shades, that plaid jacket. This guy is a true badass.
Just for old time's sake, let's play Uncle. Uncle? You wanna crash at my place, don't ya? That's why we came all the way. Uncle! Uncle!
And he's also an asshole. Feck! But suddenly, all the other kids turn face, and for once actually show feeling for the Ed boys. As the torture continues, Ed pulls off the hinge from the trailer door and...
Uncle! I made it all up, Double D. Everything about my brother was a lie. I just made things up so people would like me, think I was cool. But boy, was I wrong. Scam my brother, this. When am I gonna learn, Double D?
I think you just have, Eddie.
Ah, shut up and kiss him already, Nancy. So the kids finally respect Eddie and give him 3 cheers for beating his brother. Even a little kiss from Naz. Ah. So Kevin then invites the Eds all back to his house for Jawbreakers, and they all head onto the bus back to the cul-de-sac where the Kankers spend a little time taking care of Eddie's brother.
First one inside gets to give him mouth to mouth!
So is Ed, Edd and Eddy's Big Picture Show a good movie? The answer is yes. It's funny, it's wacky, it brings new meaning to the word sextant. And it ends the series on a good enough high.
And it only took 130 episodes, 4 specials, and a movie, Eddie.
So a hardcore hit to Ed, Edd and Eddy's Big Picture Show. Although I am kind of sad that one of my favorite childhood shows has to end. And looking on the bright side. At least I don't have to listen to that horrid song.
When you stub your toe and it hurts, you know.
You son of a bitch! I'll find you! I'm gonna eradicate you! Oh dear. Poor, stupid, hardcore kid. Yes. Yes, this is Mr. British Guy. Uh-huh. Everything is all ready. Better prepare the troops, mistress.